By no means am I a pro at Pokemon Champions or any other competitive Pokemon, but I've been playing it for a little while now, and I think I really like it, and I want to share my, builds with you guys. So this is a team that I've been using so far, climbing the ranks in singles. I use pretty much one Pokemon in every single battle that I go into, and it does absolutely crazy. Normally, I start off with Whimsicott or Venusaur, but Venusaur has been my go-to since recently. It's just more disruptive than the Whimsicott because I tried to use the Endeavor with the Focus Slash to bring this Pokemon down to 1 HP and then try to take it out. But the Venusaur is super toxic, like literally. Toxic, and Lead Seed and Protect is pretty crazy. The Charizard is just there. I might use it if I find that the opposing team has more, Pokemons like Steel, Grass, or anything that Charizard would be super effective against. The Archaludon is the one that I normally go to finish up or to clean up the matches because the Milotic and the Venusaur always, do their job. And then we have a King Gambit. I sometimes use it depending on the other team's lineup. As I mentioned, I'm going to be showing you guys my favorite Pokemon, and that is the Milotic. So let's go ahead and check out its summary. So for Milotic, it's a pretty crazy Pokemon. It is so toxic that I've been in about 6 or 7 or 8 matches that the opposing team just forfeited after Milotic like literally broke their team. So let's just go through it, and I'm going to talk about how I actually use Milotic in my matchups. So for the stats, we have HP maxed out with max EVs. Then we have defense maxed out with max EVs, and it has a sassy nature so that its special defense is also pretty high. I use Sassy because I wanted its speed to be a little bit lower than normal. So if I'm going up against something like a Trick Room team, it might not outspeed some of the other Pokemons on the opposing team. For the attacks, I have Recover, Surf, Coil, and Hypnosis. I might change out Surf for a ice attack like Ice Beam because I've been matching up against a lot of Dragon type Pokemons, a lot of Flying type Pokemons, and the Surf is not that strong. Even though I do get stabbed because of a water typing, it still doesn't do that much damage. I was using Scald first, but it's a little bit weaker than Surf, even though it does have the 30% chance to burn a Pokemon. I think Ice Beam is going to be a lot more effective. Recover, because it's Recover, you're going to need to recover some of your health when you take some damage because you're pretty slow. And Coil is one of the most broken moves on this Pokemon. So Coil boosts the user's attack and defense stat as well as its accuracy by 1 stage. So if I use Coil 2 times, it boosts my accuracy by 2 stages, my defense by 2, and my attack by 2. I don't really use attack because it's a special attacker, but the defense is good if you're going up against something like a Garchomp or something that does physical damage. So Hypnosis has a 60% accuracy rate, which is not good. So using Coil twice, you get 40 more. That's going to make it 100% accurate. So this puts the opponent Pokemon to sleep, which is absolutely crazy. So for example, you go into a match and you see a Pokemon that is faster than you. Say for example, a Garchomp. What you're going to do is you're going to use Coil. You're going to use it twice and then Hypnosis. Once you do that, the Garchomp is going to be put asleep, and then you can recover and then Surf. And you're just going to keep on doing that. When you know it's going to wake up, you Hypnosis, put it back to sleep, recover, and then Surf. That is why I wanted to switch out the Surf for an Ice Beam, because again, I've gone up a bunch against a bunch of dragons and flying and grass type Pokemons, which Milotic is not that good against if you're only having a water attack. So an Ice Beam would be pretty broken. I used Hydro Pump, which is also a good attack because it's a 110 and it has 80 accuracy. If you use one coil, it maxes out the accuracy to 100. So you're going to be pumping out Hydro Pump without having a chance to miss. The only thing about Hydro Pump is that it's 8 pp, so it's not that good if you're going into a long drawn out match. The ability is competitive, so if anything comes in and lowers your stats, your special attack is going to go up, which is absolutely crazy. You definitely need that, and it's going to make you even more powerful because you have good special defense, then you have Coil to boost your defense, and you have Recover, and you have Hypnosis, and then you'd have boosted special attack. That would be crazy. The item that is being used on this Pokemon is Leftovers because you want that, passive heal each turn, and that is pretty broken.